Welcome to RPG Book Club, the podcast where we play a little bit of a video game and talk about how it makes us feel. I'm Sam.
I'm Bernard.
And I'm Trish.
And today we'll be continuing our coverage of Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, playing until we reach the end of Chapter 13. But before we get started, how was everyone's week?
I had some difficult stuff at work, just there was a lot of work to be done. It's not funny or interesting, just I had to move a lot of boxes and shit. But today, as the day we're recording, Tomodachi Life Living the Dream came out.
Oh, I'm so fucking jealous. When the original Tomodachi Life came out, I made an island and just made a mise of every Phoenix Wright character I could for the fun of it. And I'm like, I want to do the exact same thing now, but I want to do it with of the devil characters.
Mm-hmm. And the me creation options are a lot better now.
Exactly. I can make Morgan and be like, likes women.
I was just referring to such as you can have red hair.
Yes, you can have actual red hair now, true.
I was so pissed for a long time starting in the Wii era because there was just no good red hair option.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, the red hair option was like a lightish brown blondie sort of thing. Like that was the closest it had.
There was like a brown and then there was like a weird maroon that I don't think anyone has naturally.
No.
But yeah, but now you can choose just whatever color you want for Mii's hair or skin or whatever. It's great. I played the demo a while ago. I'm sure I talked about that on the podcast, and I quickly reached the end of everything you could do with the demo. So then I booted up the main game, the real game, and transferred my save data over. Now I'm trying to remember like how all the mechanics work, and my Mii's were like, oh, hey, it has been 18 days since you last showed up. And I'm like, yeah, because there was something for me to do. But I'm here, and I'm going to be playing this game a fucking lot now.
Hell yeah. I've heard that it's like luxurious in the amount of content that you get, and it earns its higher than expected price point, which rules because I would love Tomodachi Life if it was a $25 game worth of content, but the fact that it's a full price game's worth of content has me very, very excited.
I like weird ass Mii games. Bring back Miitomo.
Yes. What about you, Trish? How was your week?
My week's been mostly good. I'm also in a situation where I've had a lot of stuff to do at work, but unfortunately it's not like interesting podcast stuff. It's just like, oh wow, we were moving stuff around, and so we moved over this bookcase. I moved all the manga over to this new bookcase, and now I'm doing displays of this, doesn't matter. But couple things. I brought up, I think in the Victory Lap for last week, a book I was reading called Someone to Build a Nest In. I just finished it today. And I'm just going to briefly say, I think genuinely one of my favorite books I've read in the last 5 years, at least.
Wow.
It is, I fucking adored it. Like, huge key recommend it. And then I checked out a bunch of more books, even though I still had 3 books out, because I'm about to go. So tomorrow, my big thing hasn't happened yet, but tomorrow I work my normal shift on a Friday, which ends at 5 o'clock, and then I have to get from where I work to Boston, Massachusetts, which is about an hour and a half away, or 2 hours, or whatever, depending on traffic. I have to get over there so I can take a train, which leaves at 8 p.m., so I can go over to Philly, because I'm going to Philly to visit my girlfriend who lives in that direction. And I haven't gotten to see her since I started this job, and I'm really excited. But also, that's it's going to be a little bit of a little trip. So I checked out more books. I will tell you specifically, Sam, and I'm not going to go into this a bunch because I know it's Bernard. I did, as one of the books today, I checked out the extra books to have with me. I checked out the Doctor Who 100th Mad Dogs and Englishmen book paperback that we had.
I'm so glad.
The one that has a bright pink poodle on the cover who is smoking a cigarette and holding a sci-fi gun.
Yeah,
that sounds pretty great.
It's fantastic. I'm really excited. It's one of the emotes in my Doctor Who server.
Oh, actually, also, I checked out, so remember ages ago when I brought up to you both how I think it's criminal that there's so many D&D romance books out there, but they're all straight? I was wrong. I found 2 gay ones, and I have checked out both of them, finally, and I'm going to read them. One of them I'm not going to go into, but one of them I have to share because it's called The No Girlfriend Rule, and the premise is a girl who's like, oh, I want to get into TTRPGs, and my boyfriend like runs them, and then he's like, yeah, but we have a rule at our table: we don't let anyone bring girlfriends. Sorry, you're gonna have to find your own group. And so she does, and it's an all girl group. And then her character and another girl's character start flirting, and she starts falling for this other girl in her party and realizing her boyfriend sucks. And I'm like, yes, 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 this is exactly what I want. I am a sicko. This is the future leftists want.
Oh, speaking of girls, one thing I did this week, by which I mean right before we started recording, is my friend sent me a mysterious link, and I clicked it, and it turns out to be just a web page where you're challenged to name 100 women.
Amazing.
And so you have to name 100 real women, living or dead, and it starts a timer as soon as you enter the first one. And it is just amazing how your brain just completely shuts off once it's been tasked with something so simple. And also, I found that my brain, when asked to free association name a bunch of women, just goes in wild directions. Like, for example, here's just a string of women in the order I listed them. Zendaya, Margaret Thatcher, Mary, Mother of Christ.
Incredible choices.
Boudica, Harriet Tubman, Cleopatra, Gwyneth Paltrow.
Amazing.
Oh, another thing I've been up to. You talking about women reminded me because it made me think about it made me think about misogyny, and misogyny made me think about Persona.
Okay.
Well, it made me think about Danganronpa and Persona, but Persona's the relevant one. So I randomly came across a couple really good Persona 5 fics, and that reminded me I still haven't finished Persona 5, so I went back to it, and I'm now in the Futaba dungeon. Persona 5 update. I'm finally in the fucking Futaba dungeon. She's great so far. She has cow emojis all over her room. Like, how could I not love her immediately? But
music in that dungeon is good.
That's what I have not been paying enough attention to it. People keep telling me this is their favorite track in the game, and I'm like, I should pay attention to that.
It's not very in your face. It's easy to just like it be in the background, but when you pay attention to it, it's really good.
Yeah, everything about that dungeon is my favorite part of that entire game, so I'm really excited for you to get through it so I can talk about it without ruining it.
Cool. But yeah, I really like that. What have you been up to, Sam?
So this week was a week. So yesterday was the third of 3 storm systems that crossed the Midwest. And the first one came through at midnight on Monday. And they were like, oh, hey, there's thunderstorms, watch out for tornadoes. And then about 5 minutes later, they're like, there's a tornado in North Madison, go hang out in your basement. So I got my fat ass up and I went to the basement. A lot of my friends were like, yeah, I just figured it'd probably be okay. But I had my life ruined twice by hurricanes in the South. So I don't fuck with wind. So I was hanging out in the basement, and that one was annoying. So I finally came back in and went to sleep. And I knew, looking at the forecast, that the next one was happening the next day and was going to start at like 6 p.m. And so I canceled my board game night because that was supposed to start at 6 p.m. and I'm not going to do that to all my friends, get them sucked up by a tornado or whatever. But I get like, I had 2 really bad days at work because I was out of Adderall and I just couldn't make myself do anything. So I get the alert from the pharmacy at like 4:30 that said, your Adderall is ready. Come and pick it up. And so I, the stupid, was like, I think I can beat it. I can beat the storm. Walmart is just across the street. I can just go to Walmart, get my stuff, and come back. So right as I pull up to Walmart, it starts hailing, but it's like pea-sized hail, and I'm like, I don't want to get whacked in the head with a pea size of hail. So I'm going to sit for a second and wait for this to clear. So I sit for a second, and it clears. So I go inside. I'm like, perfect, awesome. I only wasted like 15 minutes out of the 30 minutes that I needed that of the tight timing I had before all the storms happened. But surely this will be fine. So I go and I get my prescription, and as I'm the next person about to check out, they call over the announcements. Yeah, there's been a tornado scene in the area. Everyone go to the back of the store. So I had to go to the back of the store and hang out in Walmart for 45 minutes while the tornadoes went over. But more than the tornadoes, that pea-sized hail became baseball-sized hail,
Oh,
and it was the loudest thing I've ever experienced. And like
Holy
I've
shit.
I've been like 4 feet away from a train that's passed before, and that's really fucking loud. But the
It's very
hail,
loud, yeah.
the hail was worse. Like it was because Walmart's roofs are all metal and shit, so it was just all across Walmart. It was so freaking loud. And so my partner last winter, they had baseball sized hail in her town, and it like fucked up their house and totaled their car, so they got a new car out of it. And I, eagle-eared listeners will remember, fucking hate my car, but I'm $20,000 in debt on it, and I'm shackled to it and can't get rid of it. But I have gap insurance, so if the hail would have destroyed my car, it would have been perfect. And I have one dent. I have one tiny ass fucking dent.
how?
So, I have no idea. It was the loudest thing in the entire world, and my car is pristine.
I was sure this was going to end with, and now my car's destroyed.
Nope. Not a crack in a window. Just the tiniest dent in my hood.
Did you piss off a witch?
I think so.
Because you're cursed. You're fully cursed.
I truly am. So I come home from Walmart with my Adderall in hand, and I'm like, all right, at least tomorrow's at work is going to be good. I want to pet my cat. Where's my cat? Where's my cat? So I'm looking everywhere, and I had retrained my Roomba because I had to move where its home was, and I decided that I was tired of cleaning up the kids' room, so I was close to their door, so the Roomba would think it was a wall, and then I would mark it with a no-go zone so that it would never go into their room, so that I don't have to worry about it sucking up a toy or whatever. And when I had done that, I didn't know, but Satsuki was asleep in Storm's bed. And I had done that before the tornado one happened, which was the day before the hail one happened. And so I open it, and she just wants a lot of love. She's a very needy cat. So I pet her for like 45 minutes. I'm like, so sorry. And then she bites me, and she's like, don't you fucking dare forget it. But in the kids' door, because she was stuck there for so long. Y'all may remember at my old place when I would have to pause recording a lot because she would start scratching, because she would just never meow when she needed out. She would just scratch, and I'm like, you're going to fuck up the carpet. Well, imagine her in a room for over 24 hours. She is like down to the boards in front of the kids' door. And so I will have to pay for it. I've told maintenance to come and fix it, and they haven't shown up all week. So who knows if it'll ever happen. But I felt so bad for her. Like, I can't.
I'm glad she's okay.
Yeah, I'm sure she would have meowed if something was like truly wrong, because she meows a lot. She almost never shuts up. But just specifically for I want out of this door, she just claws. It doesn't make any sense. And so yeah, she's fine. Everything's fine. But the other thing,
your car's fine.
God damn it, my car's fine. But the other thing that happened this week is I got my first big boy paycheck, and
Yay!
I was super excited. And then I was like, well, let me see how much more this is compared to last check. And just like it said on paper, I had $300 more than I did the last check. But then I looked for what did I make 3 checks before that, which was before I fixed my taxes and added the kids to my insurance. And basically this raise is just $16 if I look back a month and not back just one check, which sucks. But because of all of those changes, like, I'm set up for a lot more success. I was definitely headed towards poverty and a lot of crap before it. So everything's fine. And I will have a tax refund for the first time in like 2 or 3 years at the end of the year and all of that stuff.
That's really nice.
I am now in a place where I can budget sensibly, not in like the I'm going to eat ramen for 2 weeks and pay all of my bills, which is definitely what I was at the last couple of months. But I can budget sensibly and be able to start paying stuff off. So like in all, it is a net positive, but I was prepared to like buy $400 worth of video games every week, and I don't get to do that. So
That's
yeah.
totally understandable. Also, your weather story reminded me of what I wanted to talk about, and it's so minor in comparison. But it's so funny I kept forgetting, because it's literally happening to me right now. As we record, listeners, I'm going to give you this mental picture. As we're recording, I'm sitting here at my desk in panties and a tank top and nothing else, because it's currently like 95 degrees in my room. Because here in Massachusetts, we're having a little heat spike up into the low 80s. And Massachusetts houses are not, as I talked about last summer, are not built for heat in any measure or shape or form. And I can't run the fan while we're recording podcast, or my mic will absolutely pick it up. So I'm sweltering and dying. I literally, the day it hit 80, I was like complaining at work, and a coworker looked at me and was like, Trish, you're from California. And I was like, yeah, why do you think I moved?
That's how I feel constantly here in the Midwest, where I'm like, oh man, it's like in the 80s, it's super hot, and they're like, aren't you from Texas? And I'm like, yeah, and then it'll be super cold, and they're like, oh, I bet you're hating the weather since you're from Texas. I'm like, no, the negatives is wonderful. It should always be this cold.
Sam, we're in complete agreement. We're in total mind meld here. Also, I have to say, the other part that sucks, that's new thanks to this job, and I'm going to be suffering all summer about this, is, so, you know, the dress code requirements at work aren't like terrible. It's just like no jeans and look professional. But part of the look professional is like you have to have sleeves.
Mm-hmm.
So my options are wearing a basic blouse that has some short sleeves, which sometimes I can do, but sometimes I don't have enough, especially right now, after tripping and eating shit the other week and losing a skirt. I don't have a lot of professional wearable bottoms that'll go with a blouse, so I have to wear dresses. And the problem is a lot of my best dresses that I love wearing to work are completely sleeveless. So I have to wear them with some flannel over it or something. But wearing 2 layers when it's hot,
yeah,
the library doesn't cool very well either. It fucking sucks. Also, it sucks. A lot of things I wear, if it's a skirt or a dress, I want to have leggings on or something that makes it so. Listen, thick thighs are great. Thick thighs save lives. I'm really glad to be a hot girl with thick thighs. But the problem with having thick thighs is they rub together when you walk, and there's nothing between them. And I have chafed so fucking terribly the last couple days. It is awful. It is agony to walk around, and I hate it. And I've gotten some advice about some products I can use that can help with that. There's apparently a thing that's basically just deodorant, but to make it so your legs just smoothly like rub against each other with no friction. Yeah. Anyway, that's how I'm doing. I'm dying. And if I'm muted at points during this for a little bit, it's because I'm muting so I can run the fan on myself for a little bit to not die.
Blessed.
You know who else doesn't want to die?
Everyone in the world. So let's talk about the plot for this game. So, last week, we learned the most important story. Once upon a time, there was an annoying hacker, and he was so annoying that everyone died. The end. So, after all the shit that goes down in Under Zero, we head back to the agency to debrief with Kyoko. After the debrief, which I covered last week, Totina gets a call from Nokia, who asks her to meet up in the old Zaxxon forum. When we get there, Omnivon reveals that after he digivolved to Omnimon, he regained his memory, and now he knows why he came to Eden. He came to save the digital world from the Eaters, who found the digital world, realized everything is data and they eat data. So they just be eaten, the whole digital world. Omnimon is a member of the Royal Knights, who are the ultimate protectors of the digital world, who report directly to King Drazel, who's basically Digigod. And I know what you're thinking. I know you're imagining a large tree-shaped man covered in belts and spikes and machine guns to be the god of the digital world, but you're so wrong that it's funny. This that I'm about to show you is
I'm
King
excited because I don't think I've seen this guy.
is King Drazel. God is a woman. God is a young woman who loves frilly dresses and tea parties. Digimon is so cool.
That's pretty great. Actually, I'm pretty happy with that. Well, I was so ready to be disappointed, and that's just so far from the opposite of disappointment.
I would have, as you said, expected a giant tree-shaped man with spikes and belts and stuff.
Yeah. So King Drazel, who even in like the first time King Drazel was mentioned was in Digimon Savers, and he was Mr. Not Appearing in this game. He was just an embodiment, and so they've gone by King this whole time. But in Japanese, it's just Yggdrasil. It's not King Drazel, it's Yggdrasil. So then when Digimon revealed, oh no, Yggdrasil is a cute little girl, the localizers were like, girls are kings. That's fine. She's
you know
King
what?
Drazel.
Right.
That's fine.
Girls are kings.
That's true.
It looks like this character has had some other forms as well, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. So King Drazel investigated the eaters that had showed up in the digital world, and he determined that they came from the human world, created by the vast amounts of mental data and therefore emotions that were uploaded to Eden. Basically, having a world where everyone has superpowers and they can do whatever they want, and you fill it with internet trolls, that's a bad idea. So all of the rage bait and greed and shittiness that is people on the internet created the eaters. Because the eaters came from the human world, that meant only one thing: they must destroy the entire human world. Omnimon was opposed to this, but most of the Royal Knights agreed that destroying the human world was the only option. So Omnimon devolved back into Agumon and Gabumon so that he would be smaller and able to cross the divide between the digital world and Eden so that he could find a way to warn the humans and defend against King Drazel. The Royal Knights are intending to invade the human world through the digital wave phenomenon, which wears thin the barrier between the two worlds. The digital waves are being created by Kamashiro, and it's the true goal of the Paradise Lost plan. So Rie is likely under mind control from a Royal Knight. Omnimon was able to cross over by devolving, so it's likely that another Royal Knight was able to do the same. That's probably who is behind Rie. We should keep a lookout. But Omnimon swears to do everything in his power to protect the human world, but he needs a cyber sleuth to figure out what the hell is going on so that we can figure out how to stop it. Kyoko calls Totina and Nokia and tells them that they are grouping at the agency to plan a counterattack, and they need to act fast so that they can save Yuko. Nokia and Totina tell everyone what Omnimon said, and Kyoko puts together a list of what they know. Rie Kishibe is trying to open a dimensional door to the digital world, and Rie Kishibe has abducted Yuko. These facts are probably related, so she must need Yuko to open the door for some reason. So the group needs to go rescue Yuko, and fast, because that will disrupt the opening of the dimensional door, as well as save Totina and Nokia's wife. Furthermore, Kyoko has been tracing the digital shifts that have happened so far and determined they are all happening along a network of digital ley lines that lines up with all of the basically the Eden phone booths all across Tokyo are all connected on with these ley lines. And it was that network that Totina found middle of last week, where she jumped and ended up in Asakusa. So these ley lines, the way that they're connected, are arranged in a feedback loop, creating what Kyoko calls a power reactor for digital waves. And the bad news is that Kyoko has ran the numbers, and the amount of energy stored in this reactor is massive, which on one hand explains why so many digital shifts have been happening lately, because there's so much energy flowing everywhere. But it also means that Rie can probably open the dimensional door at any minute, so time is of the essence. The center of the reactor is in Roppongi, which is at the other end of the Nakano underpass that Totina found, and using the logs from Totina's avatar, aka her body. It's weird that Kyoko just calls it her avatar for a second. So she uses the logs to confirm that where Totina jumped and got to the real world at the end of last week was also in Roppongi. So the plan is for Nokia and Totina to go through the Nakano underpass and rescue Yuko, and for Arata to hack the mainframe and shut off the power to the building, because you can't use the internet if your computers are unplugged. So if that happens, they won't be able to open the dimensional door. But Kimishiro has probably thought of that, so just targeting the building isn't enough. Arata needs to get all of his hacker buddies together and knock out all of the power in Tokyo in order to stop the dimensional door from opening. And most importantly, this has to happen right now. So Nokia and Totina immediately head to the Nakano underpass, and when they get there, they're followed by Faye, who also dresses exactly like her Eden avatar. She says that she knew that Yuko was Yugo and vice versa the whole time, and Yuko was using her brother's Eden account to lead the Zaxxons and try and protect the Eden that her father created. But Yuko gave Faye a place to belong when she had nothing else, and so she wants to come with us to rescue her. And so to make a long cutscene short, she does.
No, with that, but not before Nokia ribs her really hard about being gay as fuck.
That one actually happens a little later.
Oh, that does happen a little later. You're right.
But still, yes, this is a very, very gay situation that we're having right now. Eventually, the gang arrives at Roppongi, and when the Nakano underpass terminated last time, they were outside of the building. But this time, thankfully, it drops them off in the exact room they need to go to where Yuko's being held. She is strapped to the giant machine that she was in earlier, and Rie was with her. Nokia runs up and says that she knows that Rie is being controlled by the Royal Knights, but it doesn't matter what King Drazel says. We're not going to let you guys destroy the world. And Rie's like, oh, Omnimon must have put you up to this. Then Omnimon Skypes Nokia and is like, Nokia, get back. She's not human. Rie cackles like a very normal person and tells Omnimon that he's too late. She's already opening the dimensional door. Meanwhile, Arata sucks, and he is approached by Suedo, who offers to help him. But Arata tells Suedo to get bent because he knows that he's working with Kishibe, and therefore he can't be trusted. Suedo says that no one understands what's going on, not even Kishibe or whatever it is that used to be Kishibe. He says that the changes happening in the world and the digital wave and all of that are leading humanity to the future, and he wanted to help foster that progress, so he created the Digimon capture program and gave it to the hackers so they could hasten the erosion of the digital barrier. And that erosion is now complete. He can finally see the world that he's been so desperate to see this whole time. Meanwhile, Rie continues to cackle normally, says that the door is open, and bids the human scum farewell as she reveals her true form, Crusadermon of the Royal Knights. Omnimon walks up and warns the gang about Crusadermon and how powerful she is. He walks up instead of Skypes because the door is in fact open and the two worlds have been joined, and Digimon can just do that now. So Crusadermon tells Omnimon that if he's going to insist on being on the human side, that he's an enemy of Drazel and he must be stopped in a boss fight. We kick her butt, and she makes a lame excuse about not wanting to reveal her true power yet, and that she has to leave to welcome the rest of the knights. Crusadermon flies up to the sky above Tokyo, where a huge vortex is opened, and Digimon are falling through the vortex, including Examon, the Royal Knights, whose whole thing is that he's just big, like stupid big, city block big old dragon.
Okay, good to know who that is. Cool.
Yeah. So Crusadermon laughs as Examon comes through, like, we're bringing in the big guns. We have a giant dragon. Tokyo famously does not stand up to giant dragons very much, but something is wrong with him. He's damaged and glitchy, and under the glitchy parts are the swirling checkerboard of an eater. He falls to the earth, only barely catching himself before he flies off into the distance. But just then, Arata finally does something to help, and he knocks Tokyo into a blackout, cutting power to the digital wave generator and closing the dimensional door. Crusadermon is pissed that the door is closed, but is able to retain her Digimon form because the barrier has weakened so much, and there's so much digital shift shit happening everywhere. She senses that the other Royal Knights have made it through, and it's weird that she says that she senses it because, as you remember, Examon is huge. You can't miss him. He very visibly came through. It's like if you're staring at a car coming at you, and like, I sense that there's a car coming. Like,
sight is a sense.
It's
That
true.
is true.
I mean,
Sight
you're
is
right.
a sense.
I'm sorry. I take it back.
Fucking got him. Fucking got him.
Crusadermon says that she'll gather the rest of the knights and then just finish destroying humanity. The plan has changed, but it hasn't been canceled. Wahahahaha. Ha 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 ha. Wahahahaha.
I'm so glad you got all the wahahas.
The Japanese read is a little different.
Yes. Omnimon says that even though Arata was late and he failed because he sucks, he didn't fail too bad, so there's still hope to stop the Royal Knights. But first, we need to pay attention to Yuko and not look away for a long time while an eater comes from the rafters and attaches itself to her face. But
Yeah, that was weird.
instead of feasting on Yuko, it merges with her and creates a huge, bizarre being that the boss battle UI calls Eater Eve, but I call someone put their fetish content into Digimon again.
She literally is like so I need to explain. This is like Yuko's body
Mhm.
put in like a big evil, eater Digimon, but like only like the waist up, and her arms are bound above her head. She's blindfolded, and I didn't realize until one of these special moves where you get to zoom in, she has a literal ball gag in her mouth.
Yeah.
Yep. It's a bit much.
It's a bit much.
I sent pictures of this to one of my partners as I was playing, and she was like, and people say Persona is too horny.
So after a boss fight that was really hard with only one Digimon, Faye stops us. She's like, is it okay to kill this thing that's half Yuko? What will happen to her if we do? We have to find some other way to save her. Totina then realizes that the Eater is a digital being that's in the real world right now, which means that she can likely connect jump to it, and I mean, it's worth a shot. Faye tells Totina not to be stupid, but Tiger Vespamon, Faye's Digimon that hasn't been a character before, tells Faye that it'll be okay and they'll go in her place. And then Faye, after all this shit that has gone down with the Digimon, is confused and is like, why is my hacking program suddenly acting sentient?
I was truly just like, damn. Honey, I'm so sorry. I don't know if Yuko likes dumb girls. I don't know if you're gonna ever be able to hit.
Yeah. So Nokia does the gentle parenting version of, are you fucking stupid? Have you not paid any fucking attention? As Totina and Tiger Vespamon jump into the Eater.
I had been using a Tiger Vespamon in my party, and I had forgotten that was Faye's Digimon, so I was just sort of like, what? For a little bit. Then I remembered that's Faye's Digimon.
That's funny. The inside of the Eater is a digital line type dungeon, but it's one that's really fucking cool, and the background is swirly like an Eater is. And then at each node of the digital line, instead of a battle with a pissant Digimon, we catch up with Yuko, who wallows in despair for a bit before going to the next node. She says that when Yugo went into a coma, because their father was already dead, Yuko was the only one that was there at the hospital with him, begging him to come back to her. And it was Kishibe who gave Yuko the idea of using Yugo's account to form the Zaxxons to protect the Eden that her father had created and reconnect with her brother at the same time. But this was all just a part of Crusadermon's plan, and Yuko played right into her hand. So she tells Totina to leave her alone and let her die because she'll just keep failing everyone. And then Tiger Vespamon speaks up. He says, you didn't fail Faye. Ever since Yuko introduced Faye and Tiger Vespamon, the three of them have been a family, and they will always stand by her. Yuko is touched and agrees to keep trying and allows Totina to reach into the void and pull Yuko out of the Eater. Once outside, the lesbian polycule is stoked that all four of them are safe and sound now, which of course is how you jinx it and make a JRPG hero end up not being safe. So a portal opens up and swallows Totina. She sees a brief vision of the kids with familiar haircuts that we've been seeing all game, and one who has his hair like Yugo tells everyone to follow him. Come over here, hurry up, before he's swallowed by some purple anime darkness. And then Totina awakes in the digital world. Maybe? I didn't remember the digital world being in this game at all, and the things that happen here in a second make it seem like this isn't actually the digital world, but just a little pocket space, but it looks like the digital world. I don't know. But this little pocket of space allows Totina to talk to Yugo, who is waiting for her when she lands. And this is the real raven-haired Yugo, not the silver-haired Eden avatar one. He says that, like Totina, his data was eaten by an Eater, but instead of being half cyber, he's gone full cyber. He thanks Totina for saving Yuko and said that he was trying to save her himself, but without Totina's help, Yuko would have been a goner. And it was Totina's connect jumping into the Eater that's allowing them to speak right now. The remnants of Yuko's data were also inside the Eater, and when he, as Ghost Boy, touched Totina at the beginning, he left a part of him with her, so those were able to resonate and make a connection so that they could talk. He says that he made a special area on a certain network, which are two vague terms, so because they're vague, I don't know if it's the digital world or not. Like, that could be the certain network. Who knows? But he says when he shared part of his data with her at the beginning of the game, that may have caused all of the shit that's happened so far and started to wear down the wall between the worlds. He apologizes for that, but before he can say much more, someone is here to take Totina home, which is very surprising because where the fuck are they? Totina sees a large silhouette of a Digimon that we haven't seen before standing in front of a glowing white portal, beckoning for her to follow. Yuko tells her to go, but when she's out, Yugo tells her to go, but when she's out, he asks to tell Yuko and Arata and Nokia that he's okay.
Since the names are so similar, you could just skip past and assume and like let the listener assume, oh, I must have heard wrong.
Right. Yeah, it is literally half of a letter different in Japanese. It's just adding a
The listener is
diacritical.
practically just working on context clues anyways, because the pronunciation of these names are so similar.
Well,
It's true.
and ga and ka are phonetically extremely similar sounds.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the half the letter I was mentioning is just a diacritical mark over the ko to turn it into go in Japanese. So it's not even a full letter different in their names. So Totina comes to in Shinjuku, but her mysterious benefactor is nowhere to be found. Nokia, Arata, and Yuko conference call her to ask her where she's been for over a week because they haven't been able to get a hold of her. They meet up at the agency and they say that it wasn't just the three of them who were worried and looking for Totina, but Kyoko was looking the whole time too. So they should call Kyoko and tell her that Totina is safe. But Kyoko won't answer her Digivice. Where could she have gotten off to? In the week that Totina has been away, the digital shift has not gotten any less strong, and all of Tokyo is now in a half cyber state, and the government is trying to place all of the blame on the hackers. They're like, oh, Rie Kishibe was abducted by hackers, and they caused all the shit that's going around, and it doesn't make any sense. And they keep getting in experts who will explain everything, but the only experts who could explain everything are the hackers. So it's just a shit show. And on top of that, Crusadermon hasn't been seen since, so she's still at large somewhere, and who knows what she's up to. And to top it all off, the eaters are attacking people constantly. Just they're everywhere in the street and they're attacking people, and people don't stay home to be safe. All of the NPCs are still standing in their same spots, just now they have a Digimon being annoying next to them. Otherwise, they're just going around their normal lives.
Yeah, there's a real, like, there's a side quest where you go to restaurants, and I'm like, why are people going to their jobs at restaurants?
Truly great question.
This is like apocalypse stuff happening.
Yeah. So all that our team has to do is get strong enough to stop Crusadermon and the Royal Knights, find a cure for Eden Syndrome, and prevent the collapse of 2 universes. No biggie. Matayoshi shows up and he says that Arata is wanted by the authorities since he's a known hacker with ties to Kamishiro, so he's a prime suspect in the kidnapping, quotes, of Rie Kishibe. Matayoshi has been trying to convince them of Arata's innocence since he knows all the shit, but until it blows over, he says that Arata should come with him to be in protective custody. And Arata says, very rightly, fuck you, I won't do what you tell me, and he runs off into hiding. He knows that the powers that be would just use Arata as a scapegoat, just like they did with the previous CEO of Kamishiro, so that they can convince the common people that it looks like they're doing something when they're not doing shit. But Arata is not going to help the cops, so he bounces and goes into hiding for a couple of chapters so that we don't have to deal with him anymore. So now, after 2 incredibly action-packed chapters, we get a chill one to check out what the world is like now that it's half cyber and filled with Digimon. So we have some very unimportant side quests to finish out the rest of chapter 13. Kyoko is still nowhere to be found, so Totina is handling all of the cases, and Pete, who's now able to realize into the real world, takes on the role of quest hint giver. The first quest involves Date, who's befriended a Lopmon who's looking for their friend Tokomon, who's gotten lost in the real world somewhere, and she needs our help to find him. This quest is in every Digimon story ever, where there's somebody who doesn't like Digimon, who then meets a Digimon for the first time, and they think that they're cute, and it happens all the time. And
does, yeah.
Yuko and Date both have befriended these 2 little guys, and they've decided to protect them with their life. The quest also shows, like in the background, that Nokia has turned the old Zaxxon place into a haven for Digimon and the people who love Digimon and the Digimon who love people. And so she's building a people's army to resist the Royal Knights in the background of all of this. Then there's a quest where we help a Piedmon join the circus. And then there's another one where we help a group of mega level virus types defend themselves against the slander that all virus types are villainous. And then in the end, they learn about acting and they join a tokusatsu production with Justamon. No notes. That quest rules.
I believe that was originally a DLC quest, and it feels like it. It feels like, yeah, this is one that you pay for, and it's extra fun.
It's a really fun quest. Fighting the 3 mega levels is fucking... Like, those 3 together specifically are so annoying.
Yeah.
Because Rosemon will full heal the entire party
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
don't kill her.
That's another reason it feels like DLC, because it's hard.
Yeah. Imagine having to take Rosemon out in between heals with one Digimon.
I hate it.
I trained a specific party for this one. One of the mods I have added Demon, which is just demon, but it's Demon because it's Digimon. Demon X, the X antibody version, and he's a very strong virus type, so that he would be neutral against War Greymon and who else was there? Venomiotismon?
It was Black War, Greymon, Myotismon, and Rosemon.
Yeah.
Which is very funny because, as far as I'm aware, at least in the first 4 anime, Rosemon was not a villain.
No, definitely not. But
they're just supposed to look villainous, and I was like, Rosemon, she definitely looks like she could be a villain, but she doesn't scream villain to me. She screams a lot of things.
It's true.
Meanwhile, Myotismon, one of the most well-recognized and famous Digimon villains of all time, and Black War Greymon, if you've seen Adventure 02, you're gonna hate him because he's a arc-lengthening douchebag.
Yeah. So I had to train up to Demon X, but on the way there, I had to get because my Digimon was currently spec'd into intelligence, and because you have to go to the farm and use real world time to train everything, I was not about to retrain into attack. So I had to find a Digimon that had a strong intelligence fire move, so then I could become Demon X and be a virus type, so I could be strong with a fire move against Rosemon, so that I could kill her in one hit. And it was so fun, but also really annoying because
That sounds like torture.
I tried a bunch of times to be like, oh, well, I'll get a really strong vaccine type and kill the 2 virus ones in like 2 seconds. But if you can't also kill Rosemon in 2 seconds, she just heals everybody constantly. And it was very frustrating, but it was frustrating in the fun, like puzzly sort of way.
Bernard, how many times recording this podcast have we listened to Sam's self-imposed experiences with the game we're playing and just been left wondering why our friend is telling him about his masochistic tendencies?
Yeah, this, like, you described this as being like the equivalent of a Nuzlocke, but Nuzlocks are fun.
Yeah.
This is fun. This was the first time where I like had to completely respec. Normally it's like, oh, I just need to go down one level and then come back up to change my types or something. This was the first time I had to, like, I went all the way back to in training to baby to go back up the thing, because I had Seraphimon. That's who I had at the time, which is not good in that meetup. So it was hard, but it was fun. So then there's the one that Trish mentioned about all of the restaurants. It's just a jokey side quest about how Digimon be eaten and also Yuko be eaten, and it's very, very cute, but nothing important happens at all.
It's very much a sequel to the previous restaurant side quest, but this one's better because instead of Arata, we have Agumon and Gabumon, and I like them more than Arata.
Yes.
Same. And also Yukio joins eventually, and she just makes everything even better.
Yes. Because in the first one, she was like, she ran into Arata outside of the restaurant and was like sad puppy dog looking in, watching them. And so this time she gets to join, and it's very cute.
It's very cute. And her and Nokia, anytime her and Nokia are in a scene together and get to have interactions, it's just so cute and fun. And especially now with the extra knowledge that every previous like thing between quote unquote Yugo and Nokia was in fact Yuko, it's just like, oh god, the ship fuel for these two writes itself.
Absolutely. So then the last quest in chapter 13 is one where this little girl has been hanging out with the bad crowd, and her brother is really worried about her. But that bad crowd turns out to be an Elecmon and a Numamon. And fans of Digimon will recognize Elecmon and Numamon as a common pre-evolution and side evolution of Leomon and Ogremon, respectively, which is another classic pairing of Digimon. They're always together. They're like bros, and they're gay for each other. It's very, very, very good. So when you see an Elecmon and a Numamon together, you're like, this is like when I see Agumon and Gabumon, I know where this is going. So the little girl gets attacked by a Cyclonemon, and they run up. They're like, no, we got this. We will Digivolve too. Nothing. They don't know how to Digivolve. They thought Digivolving was just yelling. So they just yelled, I'm Digivolving, and that's it.
And they're like, yeah, you know what? I think us just like eating food I don't think that was enough to actually get strong enough to Digivolve, actually.
Yeah.
So Totina jumps in, stops the Cyclonemon, and it's very, very cute. Finally, we get a call from Nokia, who asks us if we want to start chapter 14, but we say no thank you. We must, in fact, wait until next week. But for now, Mim Moms.
So immediately, I have a mem that literally started mid-podcast because I realized something. So here's the thing. Bernard said this earlier in the chat, and I feel this way too, because I was already enjoying this game pretty well, but it's great that there's a plot now.
Yeah.
It's really good that there's like a plot I give a shit about happening. But part of that still is any scene, even in chapters 11 and 12, any scene with Arata and Akemi, Suedo. I can't comprehend the words he says in a scene. They truly filter into my brain and then leave without leaving a mark. And so when you summed up what he was saying and doing in the scene, I was like, oh, okay, now that makes sense. And
yeah, I'm doing my best over here.
You're doing very good. So the thing is I don't necessarily think this is where he's going, but with his character design and the fact that you described it like, it feels like part of his thing is like, oh, I just want to see the digital world so bad. Like, I'm doing all this shit so I can get there. And I'm just like, there was another weird a Digimon villain who was just a human guy who really wanted to get to the digital world, who had really weird looking eyes and pale skin. I don't know if that's an intentional reference or if this is just a Digimon doing that again. But I'm gonna post a picture of this guy from 02, who, fun fact, in the dub, was voiced by Jameson Price, who I love. He's so good at anything, but you would both recognize him from, I was talking about Persona 5 earlier. He's Sojiro.
Oh, nice.
This certainly looks like a character who would be of a similar archetype to Suedo. Even wears purple. Suedo wears purple, right?
Yeah,
yes, he does.
White and purple. Yeah, it's funny. I looked up like Jameson Price's voice actor page, and it was just like, oh yeah, he's been in quite a few anime, and then I get to the video games, and it's just like a billion roles.
So Totina, or Totinos, if you're playing my version of the game, has been missing for a week while the apocalypse has been happening in Tokyo, and you return to one text from your mother.
Yep.
Mother's just like, oh, I hear things are crazy in Tokyo. Are you okay? And you reply, I guess, a week later, yeah, I'm fine.
Poor mom.
That's my mom and mom.
So I mentioned this one briefly in host only when it happened because it was hilarious and I have to share it with the listeners. So as I've mentioned multiple times, I'm playing with mods on the PC version since I've already played the game before. And one of the mods that I'm using replaces Totina with Rena from Digimon Redigitized Decode. And
that sure is a title of a thing.
Truly.
It's extra annoying because that's the 3DS remake of the original, so they just made it longer instead of just saying deluxe or something. It's stupid. But anyways, so because Rena doesn't have all of the animation data that Totina does, like her reactions in the visual novel parts will like loop poorly. So like the one when she is going to connect jump, she like raises her hand like 30 times while you're doing it. And I've just been dealing with the graphical issues because for the most of the game I get to play with Rena and it's fine and I can look past it. But this week I was not able to look past it because you dive into the eater and you go to save Yuko and Yuko's like, yes, please come and save me. I'm in the next node. Reach out your hand and take me back to the real world. And that cutscene starts and Rena glitches out and just T-poses on the origin, which is exactly where Yuko is sitting. So there's just standing on top of Yuko is just a T-posing Rena. And then because she doesn't have any of the animation data, Yuko looks up to nobody and reaches her hand out and grabs nobody's hand and steps through. And I was cackling. It was so funny. Big recommend break your game with mods. It makes it so much more fun.
I really enjoy Digified Tokyo.
Same.
All the NPCs are so ridiculous. For instance, there's fantasizing nerd boy who is standing outside during all this who says, "It's just like an RPG. All of Tokyo is filled with monsters and soldiers. It's awesome. Wait, my anime figurine collection could be in terrible danger. And my hug pillows. I hope my doorman held the line against those beasts." And then there was also anime nerd boy, who I think was just down the street, who said, "Uwa, someone save me des. I have no keikaku for this situation. Bankai, datebeo, kamehameha." And I was like, my immediate reaction was, but you're speaking Japanese and it being translated into English. But I've decided in my brain, this is an American tourist.
Yeah, it sounds like it. It sounds like Bebe from Persona 3.
I don't know. Baby's more chill than this guy.
It's true.
Baby, I think, has a more cultured, respectful appreciation of Japanese culture.
Absolutely.
I enjoy the restaurant side quest with Agumon and Gabumon, and again, why are people having to go to their stupid little jobs while the end of the world is happening?
Yesterday was a terrible tragedy, but you still have to go to your Mick job.
I mean, here's the thing: is you're saying that, Bernard, but we all lived through 2020.
It's
Yes.
true.
I finally did the Coliseum. I played all the Coliseum I could. Most of it was extremely easy because I was like, a person would be like, "You're not gonna beat me. Check out my 2 baby Digimon." And I have 3 megas. And I'm like, this doesn't feel good. But yeah, that was fun. One of the people I fought was called Veteran Businessman, and he said, "Don't think this will be easy because you're young. I'll teach you the suffering of a full-time job."
Yes. Oh, there's one I saved. There's a one of the people in the battle in the Coliseum. I saved a picture of. I'm gonna have to go dig for it because I don't have it easily accessible.
There was also Housewife. You said, "Sure, I've got kids, but these darlings are my pride and joy. Please don't be too hard on them." And I mean, they are pretty cute
really
Digimon, but I feel bad for her kids. One of them is Patamon, and one of them is one of the I think baby Digimon that's in the first episode of Digimon Adventure, and then right when you learn their names, they all digivolve.
Yep.
And get different names that now you have to remember those instead.
Was it Koromon?
Yeah.
It's like a little plant.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Tanamon.
Tanamon. Yeah.
Did you find it, Trish?
No, I'm still looking.
Okay.
I have to. The problem is, I send whenever something like this happens, I send it to a specific partner, but I send so much shit to her, and this was fully like a weekish ago, and so I'm not seeing it. I don't think I saved it here. I don't know where it is. Oh well, it's lost forever.
So I had a screenshot that I took, and it was in the quest with Elecmon and Numamon, where Totina's feeling proud of herself of like, "Oh yeah, I just saved it. What would Kyoko say if she was here?" And so then she's like,
"Yes.
Nunu the Numamon and Leki the Elecmon. If you take the first syllable from their species, you get Nue, the chimera from ancient myths. Yes, one could call what happened here tonight the Night of the Living Nue." And I'm like, that's spot on Kyoko impression. Just read a Wikipedia article real quick.
That does sound... Kyoko occasionally is a Zero Escape character, and I don't love that about her.
I just see my moment. The reason I love that moment has nothing to do with Kyoko. It has everything to do with Totina, because like for a silent protagonist, Totina has so much character in that she's a huge fucking dork. She's just a weird goober of a person. I would genuinely say of any Digimon Digidestin like protagonist of the series, she reminds me of Mimi the most.
And then after that, doesn't Pete like Skype you and be like, "Oh, you think Kyoko would say that?
Yeah.
How do you even know about all this weird shit?" Something like that.
Yeah.
Something that implies that Totina did in fact say what she was imagining out loud.
Yeah, there was one more screenshot that I took, and it's when everybody shows up to decide how they're going to save Yuko, and Kyoko's like, "Well, we'll handle this part, but we'll need some help if we're going to take the power out." And Nokia's like, "No, you can't possibly mean," as Arata walks up. And I'm like, "Same."
Nokia is the best girl.
Yeah, so that will do it for the week. If you like what you heard today, you can head on over to www.rpgbook.club, where any and all donations will help us offset the cost of running the show. If you decide to donate $1 or more a month, you'll become one of our gadabouts and also get access to our bonus feed filled with after shows for every episode, as well as bonus seasons of the show, such as Tales of Podcastia and the Escape Pod. And if you up your donation to $5 or more each month, you can become one of our warriors and get your name read at the end of every episode, a little like this. Shoutouts to Dragonslayer19, Freddie Rodriguez, and J Prime. And if you really, really love us and you want to be a luminary, you can donate $20 or more a month and get a short 1-sentence shout out or advert read at the end of each episode, a little like this. Shoutouts to El Tantavi, who wants you to check out aftermath.site, a worker-owned reader-supported news site covering video games, the internet, and the cultures that surround them. Shoutouts to Kale Dranis, who says to check out Podcasters Assemble. It's a documentary-style, crowdsourced movie hype and rewatch podcast. Every season, podcasters from around the world are assembled to review, reminisce, and riff on a popular franchise. And then shoutouts to Vimke, who says it bowed horribly and gave her the appearance of a building with the foundations hastily shored up. And then shoutouts to It's Clear Time, who says, for you TTRPG nerds, check out Fabula Ultima. I'm not affiliated with the game, I just think it's neat. For RPG Book Club, I've been Sam.
I'm Bernard.
And I'm Trish.
Toodaloo, folks.
Bye-bye.